Hello, Cece. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Sarah and Fatika. And Tomas. Hello. Yes, you just caught me. I just started. The topic is life, whatever. If you have English questions, you can ask me English questions. If you just want to talk, we can talk a little bit. It'd be great if you have interesting questions or things to talk about. Hello, Jack. Good to see you. Yes, I've heard all the news happening in the Middle East right now. It's a crazy time. Yes, I have been here over 10 years, over 11 years. Hello, Andreas. Good to see you. I'm fine. How are you? I'm a nice teacher. I try to be a nice teacher. I try. You're from Kazakhstan. Well, welcome. Hello, Belen. My dear, how are you? How is the family? You missed the telling of my travels. Actually, I never really did tell about my travels. I guess I kind of skipped over that, didn't I? Yeah, I didn't really tell too much about my travels. But it was great. I spent time with Gunter and his family and met some other Hello Talkers in Germany and one of my Ukrainian fans in Poland now. And I also spent time with Belen and her family. It was amazing. I gained a lot of weight because I was eating my way through Europe. Do I use a contradiction in terms? How do we use this phrase? A contradiction in terms is just a formal way to say that something you just said doesn't make sense. It contradicts each other, right? So you said, it's never hot in Egypt, but today is 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Those would contradict each other, right? Because you're saying it's never hot there, but it is hot there, right? So that's a contradiction in terms. It's just a formal way to say that something that you said doesn't match with something else you also said. That's all. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. Did Belen force me to finish Big Dishes at all costs? Nobody forced me to, but there were more than a few nights when I couldn't stop myself from eating. More than a few days and nights. Am I European? No, I am not. Moshe Megoren. So, hello, Nermeen. I have been fine. How have you been? Hello, Peter. I have a friend from every corner in the world. I have some people that I know. Yeah, I'd like them to be my friends. Sure. 我会。有时候我觉得我会，有时候我觉得我不会。You don't trust this answer. Yeah, well, no, I stayed, like I said, I stayed with Gunter and his family for about a week in Berlin, and it was awesome. And I got to go to Dresden for a day. And another Hello Talk person, follower, came out to walk me around and tell me about Dresden, which was cool to meet another Hello Talk fan. And when I was in Berlin, I got to meet another Hello Talk fan named Hendrik. Hendrik, I don't know if you're there, but that was cool to hang out with Hendrik. Except we got stuck in the trains last minute, late at night, trying to figure out which trains were going and which trains weren't. All because of politics, some political stuff that was happening at the time. Anyway, it was cool, and I went to Poland for one day, to Poznan, Poland, and had a delicious dinner with my friend Ina. Gunter and Ina and I. Did you force me? No, nobody forced me. I can't help myself when there's delicious food around. I am not, I'm an easily weak man when there's delicious food around. How to use have as an experience way. I don't understand what you mean, Harsh. How did I learn Chinese? Mostly by myself. Self-taught. Although my Chinese really is really, really terrible. When I try to speak with natives, if they speak normally, the way they normally do to most people, I'll be lost quickly. If they speak simply, then I'm okay. But when they speak the way that they normally do to other natives, then I get lost quickly because I don't understand a lot of the local way they say things. I did learn how to write, Nermeen. I haven't practiced it in a long time, and quite frankly, at this point, I'm not really that interested in learning to write. So I do know how to write characters, but at this point, I'm focused mostly on just Pinyin, you know. I'm only really interested in if I can, type and read. That's it. Nonsense does have a meaning. To not make sense, to not have sense. So it has a meaning. Reinforcing is different than forcing. How to use have in an experience context. Well, again, I'm not sure I understand your question, but I'll say, do you have any experience? I have a lot of experience in this field. So to have experience, if that's what you're talking about, means that you have a background. You've done many things with this thing, right? So maybe it's carpentry, right? Building things with wood. Then you have a lot of experience in carpentry. Who is behind me? Nobody's behind me. Ah, weird. Now you're getting into linguistic, philosophical existentialism. You're trying to learn many languages together. Is it possible to start 5 languages together or one by one? It's possible, Nermeen, but I don't think it's a great idea. It depends on how well you want to learn these languages. If you really want to be fluent in these languages, then I don't think that doing 5 at once is probably a good idea. Although you could try to choose some languages that are related to each other. Spanish and Italian and Latin. Those 3 have a lot of relationships with each other, which might make it easier. For example, she hasn't been having much luck recently. Okay, so you just did it. Harsh. Why are you asking me these questions, Harsh? I sense a heckler. Yes, what goes up must come down, Confucius says. Why do flammable and inflammable mean the same thing? That would be because of Latin grammar. Wash your sister sauce. That's what we call it. Wash your sister sauce. During speaking English, sometimes I get stuck, so how can I cope with it? You need to practice speaking more. You need to practice thinking more in English. The more you spend time thinking in English, the more fluent you'll feel when you speak English. But you can also just slow down sometimes, and you can also recognize that it's okay to pause to think sometimes when you're speaking. It's a good thing sometimes if you need a moment to say, that's interesting, let me think about that. And then take a minute to think about it, you know? So don't worry too much about getting stuck. Try to relax more, slow down more, and take your time to think more. I can't be angry. I wasn't angry with you ever. I just have a system and I try to follow it, and I'm the host, so that means you have to follow what I do, not the other way around. It's my time. Let's talk to Panda Man. Panda Man, would you like to come talk with me?
Hello.
Hello, Panda Man. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Yeah, so Teacher Mark, I haven't seen you for a while, so how are you doing these days?
I'm good. Yeah, I was on vacation for quite a while. For
Oh,
about
okay.
5 weeks, I was on vacation, and then I was sick for about a week or so
Oh,
after that. So I've
so
been
you
gone for a while.
you're you already recovered from the
Yeah,
sickness?
yeah,
Okay, that's great. That's
yeah.
great.
I'm okay now.
So then, yeah, where did you go on your vacation? So could you share
Um,
some interesting stories?
sure. I spent a week in Germany, mostly in Berlin,
Mm-hmm.
and I have
Okay.
a follower there named Gunter who has been following me and watching me on lives for a long time, and he invited me to come stay at his house, so I stayed with him.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool, and then I got to spend some time in Berlin, and I went to Dresden, Germany, also, and also spent one day in Poznan, Poland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so that was great. It was all amazing. Met a lot of really nice people, and it was really good to get to know Gunter better, in person. It's always
Hmm.
nice to meet people online, but it's much better when you actually get to meet them in
Yeah.
person.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, meetup, right? So it's
yeah,
always better than just a talk online.
yeah,
So
that's right.
wow. So then you mainly travel in Europe, right? This time. Is that right?
Well, after I did one week there, then I also went to Madrid for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, Madrid. Okay.
And I have another
Yeah.
fan follower, Belen, who's like my Spanish sister, and there she is. And
Oh, she's in the room.
yeah,
Wow.
and
Oh,
so
Berlin. Okay.
I went and stayed about a week in downtown Madrid, and then a week in the suburbs of Madrid near where her family lives, and
Wow.
spent a couple weeks with them. And Gunter came to Madrid with me, and Gunter speaks fluent Spanish, so that was really helpful.
Wow.
And so the two of us spent time in Madrid with Belen, and it was amazing. It was really,
Wow.
really great.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, this kind of a trip is always more interesting than you just go somewhere alone, right? And
Right, right.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the whole like tour bus kind of thing, you know, where
Hmm.
a whole bunch of people who are strangers get on a bus together and there's one person who's got a microphone who's explaining everything to you.
Yeah, talking about the tours, right? The
Yeah,
tour
yeah. I'm
groups.
not a big fan of those things. I feel like
Yeah,
that's not a good way to travel to me.
me neither. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Mm.
that's why again, Hello Talk is cool because you can think about it as more than just a way to exchange language. It's also a great way to meet people around the world, and then if you decide to travel,
Yeah, yeah.
you know people
So
there.
yeah, so these days, some people are complaining that HelloTalk has become a social app, dating app, this kind of things. My person, okay, I mean, in my opinion, right, I personally think this is not a bad thing, yeah, if you can use it in the right way, right? Um, it's nothing wrong to get to know someone on Hello Talk and then meet this person in person and then later even becomes boyfriend girlfriend, right? So as long as you use it in the right way. So
I
mm,
agree, and here's the thing. I've been using Hello Talk for more than like 11 years, and
oh
they've
wow.
always had a problem that people were using the app like a dating app. You know,
Uh,
from the beginning. From the beginning, they've had a kind of a problem with that. But I agree with you that here's the funny thing about Hello Talk is you can meet people. You can meet a girl or a guy or whatever,
mm,
and you can make a connection, but you have to be willing to be patient and take your time and get to know somebody.
yeah.
And the fact is, 95% of the guys who are here have no patience. They have no, here's the funny, they have no game. They have no game. Their game is a short game only. They only know a
Mm,
short game when it comes to girls.
And there is no long game. They don't know how to play a long game. So
mm, yeah.
so then they just go from, hi, how are you? And then they immediately start becoming really, really, really forward, too flirtatious and too forward right away. And again,
Like I said, I agree with you that I don't think there's a problem with meeting somebody here,
Mm,
but you have to be willing to take your time and get to know them well. And you also need to remember that if you're using an app like this and you're talking to people in different cultures, then you need to be very open minded that there could be cultural misunderstandings that
hmm.
they happen very easily. You
Yeah.
know, now that we're, interacting like this, it's very easy for one country, or culture to misunderstand something that the other culture does or says,
Hmm.
especially when you're speaking in a language that's not necessarily your first language,
Hmm.
So, yeah, I agree. I think there's nothing wrong with it. But I also think that they have become more of a social media app and even a dating app, but definitely a social media app, which is not
Hmm.
really how they started.
Hmm.
And I understand why they did it that way. They decided they had two choices, in my opinion. This is what I think they decided.
Hmm.
One is to try to market themselves as more of a social media app, which means they're marketing to a much broader audience, a bigger
Hmm.
audience, right?
Yeah.
But it's a
Yeah.
bigger audience that's not as serious. They're very, very low value users, meaning they are they're not
they use the app, but they only use the app in a very, very shallow way. There's nothing deep connecting them to the app or the purpose. So that's one choice, is to market to the masses, right? To the majority of people. Or the other choice is to market themselves as more of an educational app, which is a much smaller audience. But it's a much higher value audience, meaning the people who would be interested would be serious, and they'd be, using the app for serious purposes, right? So I think, personally, I think they went the wrong direction. I think they should have continued to try to market themselves a little bit more as an educational group, like a group of people who are there primarily for education. I think that would have been better.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I understand why they choose this direction. You see, when you focus on language learners, the market is much smaller, right? And besides, many people are using this app for free, right? They don't usually pay
Right, but there
for the membership.
are many ways they could have solved that problem too. I asked them to start doing subscriptions 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Subscriptions. All you have to do is just say, okay, if you've made 300 to 500 hours of content for us, and you haven't gotten in any trouble for 1 year, then you qualify to be a subscriber host. Now, as a subscriber host, people can pay to subscribe to your channel, which means they can watch as many times as they want, and they don't get limited in the to watch you. They can watch you as much as they want. They can subscribe to you. That would encourage people to want to do better content and to want to play by the rules, So subscriptions, they could have made money and encouraged people to do good stuff,
Yeah, okay, that's a great idea actually. So now, although they have a membership for VIP, right? But it's time to, let's say, differentiate the good hosts and the normal guys,
Right.
right?
So here's what I think is the situation they're in right now at Hello Talk is very similar to the way it was in the 1980s in America when cable TV came around. So before cable TV, most people had a TV, but they only had maybe 7, 8, 12 stations total. They could barely get any stations at all. It was just a few stations. Then cable TV comes along, and something interesting happened with cable TV. Every cable TV station had a local little building where they had cameras, and people could come and rent that room and do their own program. They could do their own programs. So they could do an exercise show, or they could do a diet routine show, or they could do a cooking show. And they did all these home people, these just regular people, not famous people, just regular people came in to make their shows. And some of them were terrible, but some of them were great. And the ones that were great, the cable TV stations saw them and said, oh, hey, Julia Childs. Julia Childs was a famous cook on TV, and she brought French cooking to America in the 1960s and 70s. And somebody saw her and said, hey, that's great. We should produce her, right? So that's what I'm saying is they have an opportunity to do the same thing. They have an opportunity to find the people around the world who are doing great content, just like an early TV host, on local TV network would do, and so there's talent just waiting to be cultivated. But I think that
Yeah,
they need to
yeah,
choose.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I think that it's risky letting anybody have a camera to do anything and say anything. I think that's a pretty big risk. I think that it would be better if you gave that to only people who have shown themselves to be
Mm-hmm.
positive.
Or yeah, or there's also another option. I think they can do something like YouTube, right? So the company YouTube may not directly invest on some of the hosts, but what they can do is they can set up the platform. Like they can introduce uh, advertisements right to the platform and let let the hosts earn their own money and let the audience to choose the better ones that they like to watch. Then yeah, it's kind of like the audience will push the good ones to the top and
Well,
the
the
mediocre ones get synced to the bottom.
the only problem with that is
Mm,
um, that's the problem with social media in general is this idea that popularity will drive up the good ones and push out the bad
mm,
ones.
mm,
Unfortunately, human nature is not that way. Human nature is if I bring my mother onto the camera, nobody will really be that interested. But if I bring my mother
mm.
on the camera and I smack her in the face, a
Oh,
million people
yeah.
will
I
watch.
see. I see what you mean. I see what
So,
you
so what
mean.
I'm
Yeah.
saying is you have to be
Yeah.
careful. There has to be some rules set aside to say
Mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm,
So YouTube has almost no rules, really. They have almost no rules. They tell you do whatever you want to do as long as you're not doing anything illegal, right?
mm,
But they don't limit you in any way, shape, or form. However, and then for free speech and all that, that's wonderful. However, the thing is that free speech doesn't exactly play out completely in a classroom, for example,
mm,
right?
mm.
When you're a
Yeah.
teacher, I don't get to say anything I want in front of the kids. No, I have to clean it up. I have to think about my words carefully, not use any bad words. I have to try to explain things in ways that make sense, without being offensive or harmful in any way, right? So
Mm.
what I mean is I feel like they could do themselves a favor by trying to create more of a learning environment where it's people who anybody who would be comfortable in front of a classroom,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with you. Human nature are always always chasing the sensations, right?
Right.
So what kind of things can build a sensation? Hatred,
Right,
bigotry,
right. That's exactly right.
violence,
Yeah.
sex,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
All
Those
these
things are the
bad
easy
things.
buttons to push. The easy
Yeah,
buttons to push, right? So that's why I'm saying that in some cases, I think that if you create a platform, you can decide what kind of environment you want to create there, you know?
yeah. Hmm.
And again, when you walk into a classroom, if you're a student, you don't expect to run the show. You're the student. There's a
Mm.
teacher, and that's who's running the show, right? In that room, that's who's in charge, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I feel like social media is kind of the same thing, There are people who are watching and there's people who are running the show,
Hmm.
I don't try to limit anybody, but if somebody breaks my rules and starts using bad language in my chat, I will remove them. Of course, I will remove them. So, yeah, I just think that there's a benefit in limiting your audience sometimes.
Mm.
When you open your audience up to anybody and everybody, you're opening yourself up to a lot more trolls and
Mm.
negative people who are not really interested in you. They're not there for any positive reason. They're there for negative reasons. And there are lots of humans who are like that. Sadly, the internet is a place that gives a lot of sad people an opportunity to feel negative, and it makes them feel better. It's like something they can do. It's basically, bullying is something people do to make themselves feel empowered. Right? So they pick on other people to give themselves a sense of power because somehow they feel like they don't have a sense of power. So the same thing is true on the internet. People will just go on there and just bully because it's easy to
and
do.
even at a larger scale, because the price is lower, right? They bully somebody, they just disappear.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Yeah. And especially when, you can make another, profile and come back 3 seconds later, Yeah. So, like I said, if you decide to market to everybody, then you're opening yourself up to more negative potential. But if you limit your market to a market that's already kind of catered to a certain atmosphere of learning, then you limit the amount of negative interaction and negative potential that you have. There's fewer negative users.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Yeah, it's good for them to focus more on the education side, rather than try to
Right, because they're never going to be able
away.
they're never going to be able to compete with some of the biggest social media platforms. They don't have the budget for that or the money for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so I think it again there's sometimes it's better to shoot for the right target.
Yeah. The one downside of it's not a downside of their policy. It's just what they are not doing very well currently is they are losing good hosts. I think that at some point they actually tried the thing you just said, right? They reached out the good hosts, try to get them do more live stream voice room, and they support them. With some.
They didn't do enough.
Phones.
They didn't do enough.
That's it. Yeah.
The all this stuff with coins and whatever. I'm sorry, but if you want talent, you have to pay for talent. It's that simple, right? And so again, the idea I had originally of like subscribers, that gives a host a reason to want to work well, to do things, the right way, to create good content and to be consistent and to create a positive learning environment for everyone. I think they tried, but I think they weren't very serious about it. Because I think that they didn't really offer anything to the hosts. Not enough. You have to remember, again, you have to create an environment that encourages someone to want to continue. You have to create an environment that encourages someone to think that it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I've done, like 1,700 hours or 1,800 hours of live streaming on HelloTalk, and I've gotten paid nearly nothing for it.
Okay. So the bottom line is, let's say, if somebody somehow decided to do HelloTalk live stream for a full-time job, the bottom line is you have to pay them.
You have to create some sort of possible potential of income. That's right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they have to earn enough
to make it worthwhile.
yeah,
Yeah.
to match an average job in their own home country,
Right.
right?
Or,
So
or at
that's the
least
bottom line.
be,
Yeah.
I would say, at least it has to be worth enough to be worth the energy that you have to put out, right? What we say is the juice worth the squeeze? The juice has to be worth the squeeze. If the juice isn't worth
Oh
the
yeah,
squeeze,
yeah,
then
yeah.
don't
The
do it.
juice,
So
the
that's
juice
right.
has to
Yeah,
be the
is
squeeze.
it worth the squeeze? Like sometimes you get a lemon and it's really hard and it has almost no juice in it, and when you it's like it's almost not worth how much energy you have to put into it, right? So the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and so. Do I expect them to create something where somebody could make $100,000 a year doing this? No, but I would expect them to create some paths of potential earning, right? So, like I said, subscriptions would be good. Some sort of affiliate deals, right? Like most other social media platforms, if you have people who get a certain number of followers, now they can make deals with companies, to promote their, their books or their videos or their luggage or their whatever,
Yeah.
things like that, affiliate deals like that. There should be, they should be thinking of like, well, what can we do to make it worth it for them?
Yeah.
But the coins, to be honest, was it's kind of insulting, because it feels like I'm a monkey that I have to dance for my coins, like I don't get paid unless I dance, and if you have somebody who's doing good content, it shouldn't feel like I have to like beg people to give me money, That's why subscriptions, I think, would be really the answer. Is to
Yeah.
give people much greater access with the
Yeah,
subscription.
exactly. Yeah. Now they kind of just count down people doing this voluntarily. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't, unfortunately. They don't really do it
Yeah.
voluntarily,
Yeah.
I mean, again, it seems there must be a better way. There must be a better way, instead of just making the host have to every 5 minutes say, "Hey, don't forget to give me some coins. Hey, don't forget to give me some coins." I don't want to do that. When I'm teaching, I'm a teacher. Okay, that's what I do, and so it feels really strange to be in the middle of teaching and then have to ask for people to give me money. That
Yeah.
that feels very weird,
Also,
like begging. Yeah.
also, I doubt even the top one host on Hello Talk cannot just let's say do this as a full-time job. I mean the income is not enough.
Right. I know. Believe me. So, yeah, right. And that's why I'm saying that I think that they could have chosen a handful, like 10 of the best people who are doing content, and then sat down with them and tried to say, what can we do to turn this into something that's worthwhile for you? And it doesn't have to be all on Hello Talk's shoulders. Like I said, I feel like there's some things they could do working with other companies, for example,
Yeah,
affiliate
exactly.
companies, What if they worked with Delta, or United Airlines or China Air or something, right?
Yeah. All the English education companies, right? Like the big ones, they can advertise for them, right? And yeah, basically, yeah, there are lots of things they can think about if
Right,
they have the
right.
platform. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there are lots of things that they could think about, but I feel like they do need to just start with a few people and try it with them, And again, it's if you you just have to create an environment that makes people want to be there. You're right. There are a lot of hosts who are leaving, but of course they are. Because why wouldn't
They
they?
have to take another job to support themselves, right? They
Right.
cannot stay
Yeah.
spend
Right.
time all
Yeah.
the time here. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So, you know, like when I do what I do, I have to do everything I do on YouTube also because I can't only build on Hello Talk. I have to try to build on more than just Hello Talk because I can't get paid here, you know. So, you know, and keep in mind, I love Hello Talk. I've been on this app longer than most people who have been on this app,
Oh,
you know.
definitely longer than me.
Yeah, I've been on the app
11
for a
years is a
long
long time.
time, and I love the app, but I just feel like they decided it would be easier to make more money by trying to market it to a bigger audience, and I think that created it made the app a little bit less serious.
Focused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
focused, less serious, you know.
Serious. Yeah.
Now, I haven't done it in a while, but sometimes I'll jump on the live streams and just jump around and see what people are doing. And I wish I could say that it was usually good, but it's usually not.
I mean, most of the time when I, jump onto somebody's live stream, I don't mean this. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but the majority of what I see is either not good or bad. Every once in a while, I'll find somebody really great.
And I'll check them out, you know. But there's like no standard. There's no standard at all.
Yeah.
You know, anybody can do whatever, and I feel like that's a, you know, that's a big risk.
Yeah.
That's a big risk, and I can only imagine how many headaches they have to deal with regularly. You know, somebody who did something bad on their live stream, and now somebody complained. Now they have to look into it. It's a headache every time they have to deal with people doing, you know, stupid, silly stuff on their live streams. So again, that's why I think it would be better if instead of giving a live stream to anybody and everybody who asks for one, make a system so they have to earn it. They have to earn the privilege. It's a privilege to be able to broadcast to the world. So they should make it a privilege, you know, that you have to earn in order to reach that ability.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because when you have something to say, you want some other people to hear what you want, what you say. That means you either have some good stuff to deliver, or you can help people in some ways, right? At the meantime, you cannot spread some of the bad things, right?
That's
Like
right.
Your own rhetoric,
That's right.
your extreme ideas.
Right. Yeah. Or whatever, you know, whatever bad stuff you're doing. Again, it's really simple for me. I don't feel like this was ever difficult for me to do because when I turn on the camera, it's the same exact thing as when I walk into a classroom. When I'm in front of students in a classroom, I have to be a professional teacher. So that means I have to speak a certain way. I have to act a certain way. I can't do certain things. You know, I can't use certain language, right? So it was always natural for me, but I think that some people are treating it like it's just I don't know. I feel like the camera should be turned on when you have something to say.
Yeah, sure.
You
Yeah, I
know?
agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So, I don't like the idea. Yeah, people get on the stage and still keep their camera off when they are speaking.
Yeah,
So,
there are some
yeah,
cultural reasons why some people do that. which I have no problem with. But yes, you're right. If you're just doing it because you're shy, then yeah, it's a bit silly.
Yeah,
It's a
for,
bit
yeah,
silly.
for people like that, they can try voice room first, and then when they get comfortable talking with people like this, and then they can try live stream. But basically, I think you got to be serious, right? If you decided to get on the stage, learn from other people. Yeah.
Right, right. And there is that other interesting psychological phenomenon which happens, which is that when you turn on a camera, there's some people who are desperate for attention, right? So
Hmm.
there are some people who will join my streams and they're really, really desperate for some attention. And they see that I have a lot of followers, so they join my stream just to try to get attention for themselves. You
Ah,
know,
I see. They're taking advantage of the situation.
well,
Okay.
I mean, kind
Yeah.
of, but what I mean
Uh,
is just in general, there's a hey, look at me, kind of a vibe about when you
uh,
have a camera. Um, yeah, like I said, I feel like you should turn on a camera when you have something to say. If you don't have something to
mhm.
say, then you're turning on the camera. It's kind of narcissistic.
Well, depends. Let's say it's like I feel people sitting in the living room, right, talking to each other, and then uh, well, yeah, the audience can watch, right? It's like a TV program.
Mm-hmm.
But if some guy behaves like inappropriately, I think the host, right, or even the moderators in your room can, let's say, discipline this guy. Either remind him or her to behave, or just remove him
Yeah.
from the room. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Um, and it would be nice if there was a better way to have moderators here. Because I never have moderators because I just don't even know how to get them or to do what to do with them. It would
Yeah,
be nice, but
you have to
yeah,
trust them first, yeah, because moderators have lots of like privileges, right? They can
sure.
remove people, they can invite people, almost like the host. So if you don't know the moderators that well, you kind of give them authority
Yeah,
to do
right,
something,
right.
not even surprising.
Yeah, I'm kind of a control freak too, so um, I, 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 I hesitate to want to give power to somebody that yeah, I sometimes I need those decisions to be made by me. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah, I mean, I think they know all these things we're talking about. I think they know all these things. Well, I know they know all these things because I still do talk to them regularly.
Mm.
I have direct contacts with some of the people at Hello Talk who work on, fixing things or changing things or making new features or whatever. And so I
Okay.
talk to them regularly and tell them what I think.
Okay.
They know
Do
where they
do you
know
think
my
do
opinions.
you think do you think they take your opinion seriously? Not necessarily make it happen, but do
I
they
think they
listen to you
mostly
seriously?
do. I think they
Mm.
mostly do. I understand. I'm an idea guy, right? So
Mm.
I
Mm.
always am, thinking of new ways to do things or new ways of looking at things. Whatever. It's just kind of my brain is always on that way.
Mm.
And so I I'm sure it must get a little tiring sometimes
because my brain never runs out of ideas. So
Mm.
sometimes I think they might get a little annoyed by how many ideas I have or how many suggestions I make. But in general, I think they know that I have the best intentions and that, that I'm serious about what I do. And so I'm just trying to be honest with them about what I think would make things better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes. I get it. Yeah. So sometimes it's for the idea guys. Yeah, they may have some ideas easy to implement, some ideas difficult to
Right.
implement.
That's
Yeah,
exactly right. Yeah. There's
yeah.
some ideas
But
that I have that are like, oh, well, that's easy. We can do that next week, but then there are some
mm,
ideas that I know will require a lot more time.
exactly. Yeah. But the thing is, if I am the, let's say, the lead of the development team, I will listen to, yeah, this kind of suggestions seriously. I will give the person who suggests this idea a feedback, right? Let them know, okay, so I will do this, yeah, in the next version, or I have to, let's say, postpone because this idea is too big. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not to fit our schedule. Yeah,
Yeah.
blah blah. Yeah, things
Yeah.
like that.
I know all those. I've heard all of those things before. So, yeah. No, again, there's one guy I talk to in particular who always seems to listen to me and is willing to hear my ideas.
Mm,
And so, yeah, I think they take me seriously enough.
mm,
We have some disagreements a little bit about the way things should be, but I still think that they value what I have to say. And I hope they will listen to this one particular thing, because I really do think that this is like a major thing for Hello Talk. That if Hello Talk chose to make the streaming thing a little bit more, well, one, more serious by choosing
mm-hmm,
people who are serious, and two, creating a pathway for those people to actually not just survive, but maybe thrive, you know,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
to be able to create an environment they can potentially be able to, I don't want to say have a full-time job, but I want to say make enough money to make it worthwhile. Okay.
mm-hmm,
I don't think they need
mm-hmm.
to be, buying a yacht. They just need to be able to make enough money to justify what they're doing with their time,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But if
yeah.
they do that, I honestly think that it could make Hello Talk a much bigger and more interesting app worldwide, because I think it will, like I said, in the 1980s, the cable TV companies, suddenly they had all this new talent that just walked in. They just walked in and they said, I have an idea for a show I want to do. Can I do it here? Sure, we have cameras. Go ahead, do it. And
Mm,
some of them failed and some of them succeeded. And the ones who succeeded, they became big stars, you know?
yeah. Mm,
And they have the same opportunity now worldwide to be able to choose from a pool of talent that's just sitting there waiting, you know? So,
yeah.
yeah, I think that they have a big opportunity just sitting there right in front of them. So I hope they'll do it.
Yeah. So, do you happen to know how big the HoloTalk development team, the
I
size?
don't know how many exactly. No, I don't think it's too many.
Uh,
I would say probably less than 10. I'm not sure.
really? Wow,
Yeah, it's
that's a
not. Yeah,
small team.
it's a small company from what I know. There's not. They don't
Ah,
have hundreds of people working for them. I don't think.
oh, okay.
So yeah, I think it's a pretty small operation, which is again difficult. It's hard for them to get
Mm,
things done. Yeah, but again, that's why I think that my idea is by creating an environment that encourages a certain community of
mm-hmm,
education interested people. You also create a safer community that's less prone to
weird people doing weird things and breaking rules and representing Hello Talk in negative ways, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and that encourages a better atmosphere for everybody. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if let's say it's amazing enough that for such a small thing to survive in the market for so long,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I had used I've couple of other apps like HelloTalk before, right? But at least two of them, I kind of enjoyed. Oh, I accidentally triggered the blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so I used the two apps before HelloTalk, but the thing is, I like them, but the thing is, their companies were too small. They didn't get enough funding, and then they burned out the runway, and then they just went bankrupt.
Right.
So, yeah, I when the first one stopped the service, I moved to the second one, and a few months later, the second one also went bankrupt. So that's when I moved to HelloTalk, and also they happened to introduce the live stream and voice room feature at the time. It's great timing for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is really hard to run, you know, an app of this size. You know, and again, I think that was the reason why they got pressured into it, where they just needed to make more money, and so doing it the way they did is just the obvious choice to make quick money, you know. But yeah, we'll see. The other idea that I had that I think would be great is to encourage if they had a map feature on the app that let you pinpoint every conversation you had around the world.
Oh.
And the reason why that would be cool is because then you could say, well, have I talked to somebody in Russia yet? No, I haven't. Let me try to talk to somebody in Russia. Have I
That's
talked
an
to somebody
interesting idea.
in Japan yet?
No, I haven't. Let me try to talk to somebody in Japan. And then it becomes a competition of trying to talk to people in different cultures and different countries, right?
Yeah.
And now you're going past just language learning. Now you're just getting into cultural exchange, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that gives people a sense of achievement, right?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
this kind of sense of achievement can encourage people to do more.
Right.
Yeah.
And because Hello Talk is designed the way it is, there are no other apps that are designed to show you people in countries the way that they do. So, again, creating this kind of a game where, you know, how many people can you talk to? Oh, you know, after you've talked to people in 10 countries, then you win this. And after you've talked to people in 100 countries, then you win this. And, you know, whatever. And you can show the maps, show people's maps of how many conversations they've had with people around the world, you know, and think about the changes that could have socially.
That's a great idea. Yeah, you know, each year HelloTalk will publish some of the statistics, like data, right? Like, what is the language most of people learn? What is the other very fun statistics? So I think this one, it's very interesting, and yeah, it's even more attractive if they can, let's say, name a couple of people, a few people as a star, of the year, right? Something like
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Somebody said there is a map in Hello Talk. Yeah, there is, but it doesn't show the conversations you've had, right? So you can go and see a list of your conversations, but that's not a very, you know, when you see a list, that doesn't make you feel like you've accomplished anything. But if you see pinpoints on a map,
then you feel like, oh, well, look, I've talked to somebody there, you know? And, you know, the different pinpoints could be colored different colors depending on how long you've had, you know, conversation with them, you know? So if you've been talking to that person for, you know, 10 years, then it's red. You know, if you've been talking to them for 4 years, it's blue, whatever, you know, to show how many years you've been having conversations with people too, you know. But that was my idea, to get them to understand that there's a whole nother market that they could be going into that's not the general market. The general market is, I'm not a big fan of jumping into the general market because there's just, it's big, but you also open yourself up to a bunch of people who dilute your market. They're not so serious. And so it means that the level of seriousness of your entire platform goes down. So, but traveling and cultural exchange, these are things that people can do forever, right? Whereas language learning is something that usually is only a temporary thing, right? So it's usually something people do for a few years and then they maybe quit, you know, but not many people decide they're going to get an app and learn language forever. You know, they think it's a time limit kind of a thing. But making friends around the world and talking to people around the world and potentially traveling to meet them, that's something you could be thinking about forever. You know, hey, I really want to go to Iceland next year. I'm going to start to talk to people in Iceland. You know, and then when you go there, you know, meet up and, you know, like I said, and that means that they could also be making affiliate deals with, like I said, airlines, travel companies, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Hotels,
right?
right? You know, yeah. That's money, you know. Yeah. So anyway, that would be great. I hope that they do that one thing. That's the one thing I hope they do is add the map feature to give pinpoints, because I can only imagine what my map would look like now.
Yeah.
You know, I've been on there for 11 years and I've had conversations with people everywhere. It would be so cool to see a pinpoint for every little place, you know, where I've talked to somebody. That'd be really amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, well, hopefully they're listening to this live stream.
But well, that would be even scary. Yeah, they're listening to our conversation all the time.
Well, they do. They listen to my live streams sometimes. They check in on me every once in a while.
But
Yeah.
that's for different purpose, right? Yeah, they just want to see, oh, how well you are doing.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, it was nice to have a conversation with you about this stuff.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I do love this app. I do think it's great. When you care about something, it's natural to have criticisms. It's if you didn't care, then you wouldn't have any criticisms.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, thank you
anyway,
very much,
yeah,
Teacher Mark. Yeah. So it is always so happy, so great talking with you. So thank you
it's my pleasure.
for inviting me up, and yeah, you have fun with other people.
All
I
right.
will get down. Yeah.
Take
Listen.
care.
Okay. Thank
I'll
you.
see you next time. Bye
You
bye,
too.
my friend.
Bye bye.
Okay. Mark for Hello Talk president. That doesn't exist, but that's an interesting title. Okay. How is everyone doing?
finally at home. Well, relax. Give you some tips. Rachna wants some tips. Okay, ask me a question about something specific and I'll give you a tip. Yes, I'm a musician.
You're happy because I'm back. Thank you, Lynn. I'm fine as well. Rachna, tell me something that's a problem for you and I'll give you a tip.
Okay? Fluency in English speaking. The word fluent doesn't really exist. Okay? Fluent is this mythical place that you think exists where you're done learning and you don't need to think about language anymore. Forget about the word fluent. It doesn't exist. The best you can do is you can understand the connection between your language in your mind and the language in your mouth, right? So if you want to be more fluent, then you have to have more fluent thoughts in English. That's the secret, Rachna, is if you have good thoughts in English, if you can think well in English, then you can speak well. All right? That's what you call fluency, is when there's no break or stumbling between your thoughts and your speaking. Okay? Yeah. So the secret is practice thinking in English more often. How to be rich? I don't know. I don't know. How to be rich. Step 1, don't be poor. Take the money from the bank. That's right. Yeah. Would anybody else like to come up and talk to me? Tomas? Are you able? There we go. Hello, Tomas. How are you, my friend?
Wow. I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
I'm fine.
Oh, I love that fire
Yes.
behind you.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I proposed myself to come up
Yeah?
because I know I remember last year also we had a conversation.
Yeah.
You would like
Yeah, that's nice. That's a great background.
yeah. Actually, it's the best thing of my house. Actually, it's not an optional. Mm. It's basic things in this period because practically starting from this hour of the day till midnight, I live here, either practicing languages or studying, reading, or cooking. It's all my life is here for a couple of months.
That's great. It looks nice. Yeah. So what else is new?
New, I take it back or taken up. I don't know the best expression to say. I taken up practicing languages because I had a pause because of traveling. I did two, three travels. When I travel, you know, I I break my routine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's hard to me, difficult to come back to it. No,
Yeah.
and I love traveling, but
Yeah.
it's for me a little dose,
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
little.
Yeah. I have the same problem. Trying to get back to my routine is hard. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I understand, especially your kind of travel, very long,
Yeah.
actually.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, was it a couple of months? No,
Uh,
1 month?
a month and a week.
A month and a bit.
Yeah,
All
five
right.
weeks or so. About that much.
That is the length of my longest travel in my life in Australia, to Australia. I took one year to regain a complete immersion in my Italian life.
I bet. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was one of those vacations that I just didn't even want to come back. I could have stayed in Germany. I could have stayed in Madrid. I could have stayed in Taiwan and been very happy. So, yeah. And then when I got back,
Uh,
I got sick. I got really sick for like a week as soon as I got back. It was terrible timing.
when you came back
Yeah.
to Ohio,
Yeah. When I came back to Ohio, yeah, as soon as I got back, the day I got back, I got really sick.
such a kind of flu.
Yeah. It was like a cold flu kind of a thing for a good week. I was sick, at least a week.
Well, that's normal. That's normal
Yeah. Yeah.
because travel.
All the traveling. Yeah. Yeah. And my travel back was like 36 hours to come back.
Yes.
It was a lot.
Not only our mind, but also our body
Yeah.
likes the routine.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
like the routine.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes, me too. When I came back to Australia, yes, at the end of the long travel, I got sick. That was a backache.
Mm.
Uh, also, the last travel I did recently to Morocco, I got sick once back. Luckily, also the previous travel to Egypt, once back,
Got
flew
sick. Yeah.
the exact as same day.
Hmm.
So traveling is a bit destabilizing. Destabilizing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And when I
But
got back, it
it's
was really cold here too. As soon as I got back, the temperature difference was completely, when I was in Taiwan, it was really warm. I was wearing t-shirt and shorts every day and I was sweating a lot. And when I got back here, it was snowing. It was cold. And I was like, that's a big weather difference too.
that's an extra factor.
Yeah.
Same experience with me in Egypt. It was February, yes, but it's the risk to
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
for travel.
Sure, of course. Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate that traveling is so expensive now. I mean, I really do feel like traveling is some of the best education that you can get.
Right.
You know,
Right.
yeah, but I wish
Absolutely.
it shouldn't be so difficult. Just like education shouldn't be so difficult, shouldn't be so unaffordable. Traveling shouldn't be so unaffordable. The world is a better place when more people travel.
Oh, wow. Oh, Mark, you have, in Italian, we call them pearl of wisdom. Say the same in English?
Yeah, I
Pearl of
suppose
wisdom?
so.
No, but maybe you don't realize because you talk about everything. In this talking, you probably you don't show to realize you see the very deep thoughts. I'm not flattering you. Not flattering you. I'm sure. That's like now. Yes, traveling is the best education. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Those things just come out when I'm talking, when I'm teaching. I don't know why they just come out. I don't think about them. I don't mean for them to come out. I'm not. I haven't practiced them ahead of time. They just drop out of my mouth. I don't know. I'm glad you like them.
Uh, I can remark the sentence I read earlier that live streaming is a privilege. So don't take it for granted. Use it in the best possible. What? Live streaming is a privilege.
Yeah.
Wow, what a sentence, Mark.
Yeah.
It's none of the sentence. It's just a quote. Now you know the quote.
Yeah, broadcasting. You're broadcasting. You get to broadcast. That's not
Wow.
that's not something you should just give to anybody. That is something that, yeah, there should be a certain a certain respect for what the potential you have to affect people. That if you're putting yourself out there to the world, then yeah, that should be offered to people who take it seriously. You know?
It's also a privilege just attending the live stream. No? So it's already a privilege, because
Yeah,
we
sure.
can talk, we can. Oh, Belen.
Hello, Belen.
Hello.
I love your
Wow.
sweater.
What a Spanish.
The girl is inside of me. Inside me.
Is
There
it
is
Mark's
still a girl.
gift? Is his gift?
No, I didn't
Mark?
give that to her. No.
He gave me the most precious gift. Came to Madrid.
Oh, isn't she sweet?
So the gift doesn't has to be rapid. So
Oh, yes. The presents, the best gift, the presents.
yeah, I will never forget.
What?
Yeah, it was nice. It was amazing.
Where are you,
Ah.
Thomas? Anyway, in Italy, in Milan, in the north of Italy, or
No, Roma.
Roma, la bella Roma.
No.
Okay.
Close to Roma. It's not even close now. It's 1 hour away, but just for
Okay.
giving an idea. Yes, in the center.
Okay.
No, in
I got
the
the wrong idea. I thought you are in Milan or somewhere in the north.
no, actually, I don't like Milan, to be honest. Don't say it anymore. No, joking. No, the two biggest cities, there is a rivalry.
I know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like Madrid and Barcelona. No,
I know.
I'm joking. I don't mind. No, I was traveling the same period Mark was in Madrid, was traveling, more or less the same period. Even I was traveling, I was sick. Otherwise, I would have been tempted to join you because I love to have meeting with a lot
Yeah,
of
that would have
friends.
been amazing.
It
Next
would
time.
be literally
Who knows
amazing.
in the future?
Yeah, next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Actually,
We have time.
I launched I launched the idea with Laura, the English live stream, uh, to organize a Hello Talk meeting for all the world, not only who already know each other. And
Will be
that will be a
amazing.
great idea. The first idea uh, as a country where to meet was suggested by myself is Turkey. Turkey, because it's a country on the border of many,
Mm-hmm.
linked with
Neutral,
many
yeah.
sides. Yes. Uh, who knows?
But
Who
in my
knows?
opinion, it has to be many places, because it's far away from Asians and from Americans and also South American. So, in my point of view, it has to be in three places. So, from three
Okay.
continents. Let's say properly.
Let's see. Turkey for Europe, Africa, Middle East.
European, yeah.
Okay. I will say Mexico for America. Mexico. Or
Yeah, the tacos.
Caribbean island, in the middle, I would say.
Hmm.
For
And
for
also,
Asia,
what?
Thailand. Okay.
Oh, Thailand, yeah.
I would say because I explain. I want warm places. I live in a cold places. Please, I want to. If I spend money, I take time, I travel. I don't want to go to the cold places.
So you don't want to go to Norway or Sweden or in Europe, right? Or north of Russia or
Not in the winter. Not in the winter.
Yeah.
you are so funny, Thomas.
I like the cold, but I don't go out of my way to visit it. Yeah, that's true.
Say hello.
Hello.
Abby, say hello. Just a wave. Always in the same way.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, she wants to cook something. She's going to buy molds. Can I say shapes
Mm-hmm.
for making cookies?
Oh,
She's going to buy in the Chinese store up there.
okay.
Shapes to do
Oh,
cookies.
India, yes. Mark, did you stay in that house, that parents' house?
Did I
Did
stay in
you?
her house? I didn't stay in her house. I stayed in a hostel that was like right nearby her house. But every evening I was at her house, having tapas and beer together.
You
Oh
know the
wow!
point,
So
Thomas, that my house is so tiny. It's an ant house.
okay, no. You don't have to justify. Now, just to ask Mark if he recognizes
Yes, I do. That's the
the
kitchen.
kitchen.
Yeah,
My strawberry garden.
yeah.
Wow, I have 3%. I check the wire. Sorry.
Oh, okay, sure.
Where is he going?
His battery is down to 3%.
Ah, okay. Mine
So,
is 34, so we'll be okay.
how is Marius doing?
Dad
Yeah,
or Junior? Yeah,
both.
more or less.
Yeah.
Dad is more or less, dealing with his stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's getting better. But I had to be, strong with. Yeah, Manny Junior is okay. His birthday was on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
His 9th birthday. I'm very happy with everything. He's so sweet. With nothing, he's happy. So it's exactly to say because I'm his mom, but he's so nice, so happy with nothing.
Yeah, he's a little sweetheart.
Yeah. So all is good for him. You know, we didn't do any big special party for him. And I was, it's okay, Mama, I'm okay. I bought a 9-year balloon, gas balloon, 1 meter. And he's playing with the balloon, with the gas balloon. I said, okay. Yeah. Adriana with his issues.
she's
That's
just
okay.
she's just growing up. That's all.
Yeah, I know. And she's like a lion, you know her?
Yeah, yeah. I know.
Now it has been 2 or 3 days that is more quiet. That is okay, Well, we'll see.
Yeah. There he is. He's back.
I came on the stage because Thomas has been asking me all the time, how was your time with Mark? I said, amazing. What do you want to know? I tell you
Yeah.
everything, But, there are things that it has to be privately. I don't mind to share about my things,
Yeah, no.
I
I
don't.
mean, again, it's the kind of traveling that I love to do, which is my guitar player called it slice of life traveling, which is where I'm not that interested in seeing, all the typical tourist stuff. I want to spend time with people that I like from that area. I want to eat and drink and talk.
And play drums.
Yeah, sure.
Thomas,
Yeah,
he was playing drums in Madrid in different places.
Really?
yeah. I got a couple chances to play. Yeah,
Good,
it was
good,
fun. Yeah,
good. That's good.
yeah.
And
So
so,
I just like spending time with people, and getting close and making a connection with people. And I got to do that with Gunter and his family, and I got to do that with Belen and her family. It was great.
was it your first time to Europe? Is
Yeah,
that right?
yeah.
Oh, what's your
Uh-oh, did we lose him? Oh, there we go.
What?
What's my what?
the general impression about Europe as a society, as
Yeah,
a
tell me. I want to know. Fuck. Even
except
the bad
Belen.
things. Don't worry.
No,
That's just
I'm
your
trying to.
impression.
I'm trying to. It's. I love the international feeling of it. No matter where I was, there's a local feeling, but there's also you can like everywhere you go, there are different restaurants or businesses or from different cultures, and whether they're Chinese or they're Italian or they're French or they're German, it was interesting to see that even when you're in Madrid, there's still a sense of all of Europe, not just Madrid. To me, there was a feeling of that you're in Europe, that that there's a shared identity there in a way. And when you're especially a place like Madrid, it's very international. There's lots of tourists. There's people always walking around speaking all kinds of different languages. And so, again, it feels more international in that way, Berlin was the same thing, I felt like Berlin had a very international flavor to it, some of that is the immigrants, but I think some of that is just tourism in general. That there's always a lot of different people from different places traveling around in Europe. So it feels more international.
You know,
And the crazy
that,
drivers.
And the crazy drivers, right? Yeah.
In Madrid, in Madrid,
Yeah, yeah. Driving in Madrid is a bit nuts. Yeah,
no.
I couldn't do it.
That you cannot go to Rome, not even in Morocco. Don't go to Morocco because
Yeah, I'm
Thomas,
sure.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to drive
Yeah, she's a fantastic
anywhere.
driver. Yeah,
of course, like Roman women, they develop this skill to survive. You have otherwise
yeah, that's right.
you have
Yeah.
to. Uh, Actually, I am surprised, Mark, of what you have just said as a first impression. Knowing you are American, not because for us, USA is the symbol of the multiculturality, while you now more traditional, but probably because you've been in two capital cities, Berlin, Madrid,
Could be,
uh,
could be, but also I would say though that I think that that's a big problem with America. Is I think that Americans, too many of them, have completely lost any sense of connection that they had with whatever their cultural past may have been, their heritage might have been. They have no idea and no connection to it at all. So they might be from Germany, but they don't have any connection to their German heritage. They might be from Italy, but they don't have any connection to their Italian heritage. Too many people in America are that way now. So I feel like that's why I think, like I said, when I was in Europe, I felt like everybody is connected to their heritage there. Everybody is connected there,
okay,
you know?
okay.
So that's why I feel like there's a sense of community and like a sense of multiculturalism because, you know, if you're in Spain but you're from Italy, nobody thinks that's weird. You know, if you've moved to Spain and you're from Italy, nobody thinks that's weird. Nobody thinks you're like a foreigner, I don't think. You know, you're a European, you know. Now, you're right. It might be different if I go to like the countryside, you know. But in the big cities, I think that that's what it felt like.
Well, you have been in my
Yes.
city that is not downtown.
Hmm.
And how did you feel?
You mean in
In my
in the
town.
suburbs?
Yeah.
I really liked it there.
Speaking Chinese, Thomas.
It
What's
was
so funny?
yeah, it was funny. Like a bunch of the places I went to were owned by Chinese people, so I could speak Chinese when I was there. Yeah, but no, I really liked it. It was, you know, slower pace, but it was nice and it had a suburban neighborhood feel, you know, that you can walk to places, you know. That's the big problem with American suburbs is that American suburbs don't feel like they're walkable. Nothing here feels walkable. Everything is you need a car, you know.
For a question of safety or just mentality
A
or just
question of
services.
distance.
And distance.
Yeah, just distance, you know. So I could walk from my hostel to her apartment, and it was, you know, like a 10-minute walk, maybe, you know. And along the way, there were a bunch of grocery stores and other little stores. So there's a walkable feeling about that little town. You know, you can walk places, and there's a bus that takes you places. You know, so there's a sense of agency that you can walk around and you can see things on your own without a car. But like I said, in America, if I'm in my neighborhood, the only thing I can walk to is just walking around my neighborhood. So there's
Yes.
no stores to walk to, or there's no feeling that, you know, oh, I can walk to the grocery store to get some groceries. Nope. No, you need a car.
if you miss just an onion while cooking the dinner, you have to take the car.
That's right. Yeah,
Just
that's
for the
exactly right.
onion.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that's the thing about American cities is we've designed them in a way to be isolating. And there's not a sense of community because of that. It's zoning, right? So the way that they have my neighborhood is set up so that you're not allowed to build a business here. You're not allowed to build a business anywhere around here. That's the zoning. They zone this area for housing only. They zone that area for business only. But when you do that, you break up the community. You know,
Yeah, in a kind of way. Yeah.
when there's a local store, if there's a local store that's run by the family who lives there, maybe they do charge a little bit more for their potato chips or their bread, but it's right there and you know them. So there's the community. There's the sense of community there. I don't mind paying a little bit more for you because I see you. You're my neighbor, we go to the grocery store and we're paying to the big corporations, you know.
My question, Mark, because recently I started doubting of everything. I'm reading history books. Do you think that this situation is casual? We have arrived at this situation where people are forced to go to the big company stores just for no eggs, and they don't let you. They starting from the plan of cities of suburbs. Let's not allow little shops here in order to send people all together in the big shops.
We've
for
already
big
been
companies.
doing that for a long time in America. Yeah. When I was growing up, there were small stores.
There were small shops. There were some places you could go to that had small stores and small shops. But because of all those big stores like Walmart, there are no small stores anymore. And I would not want to open one. I'm sure anybody who has one, I'm sure it's really, really hard because everything is competing against the biggest corporations and they don't play fair and they don't care about the community at all.
But the question is the government of the council, because here we are on a council level. They know that local stores bring not only the that service, but also many different things in favor of the community. So they know why they don't do, and they have not been doing anything for encouraging. So it's planned. Something.
Well, yeah, of course it is.
Wow.
Of course it is. Yeah, I mean it's a business deal, especially in America. All of those things were business deals. That was all somebody wanted to make money. They didn't care, if the small business goes out of business. They didn't really care. Business doesn't care. Business only cares about its own profit. That's all business ever cares about. So, yeah, it's natural that that's what happened. That's another reason why I love not only Europe but like Taiwan also, because again, like there are small stores that do small things still, and it's amazing that you can just go across the street to a small coffee shop and have a coffee at a that's the only one. It's their little business and they run it, and that's the only one. Or you can go have lunch at a tiny little restaurant. Hello, Marius.
Marius.
You can have lunch at a tiny little restaurant run by your friend, Yeah, but you can't do that here. You just can't.
But for example, a pharmacy that is, first needs in your area, you have to. It's far away.
If I want to go to the pharmacy, yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
as going to the grocery store. I need
Oh,
to
wow.
I need to get in the car. It's 5 minutes, but it's 5 minutes in the car. You know, so if you wanted to walk it, it's a bunch of hills, and it would probably take me to walk to the grocery store, I would say probably about 45 minutes.
Oh wow. And what happens if you don't have car or it's broken or that kind of situation that you just need a paracetamol or something, And
Yeah,
wow.
welcome
so
to America.
hard.
Yeah.
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 So tough.
And this is not as bad as some places, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's one thing that I don't like about American cities is that we've designed our cities to be isolating, where everybody gets to buy their own little house and they have their own little piece of property, but there's no businesses locally. Everything is separated. You have a business area and you have a living area, and the two don't mix. And I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. And I think that there's a lot of benefit when you allow businesses and zoning for housing to be in the same area. You create
But
a
it has
Absolutely.
to
community.
be at least, a pharmacy, a
Right.
bakery, or
Yeah.
simple things,
Right. Yeah.
Whatever service.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if I wanted to open up a little cafe in my basement, I should be able to. I should be able to, and say, hey, come on over and have a coffee. As long as I run, as long as I can follow the regulations, there are
Yeah.
regulations for doing those businesses, but as long as you can follow those regulations, I don't see why they have to make it so difficult. It's silly.
Well,
Maybe you
Mark,
should pay a lot of taxes for that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
uh, that's my point. Yes, business cares only about profit. Okay, but councils shouldn't. That's matter
Yes,
of the
but
council.
councils usually look at it like it's more money for the county because the big company will be taxed at a higher rate. So when they bring in the big company, they tax them for the property, they tax them for whatever they're using. And having a big company name means more big companies will want to come in. So it's a business deal. It's just a business deal. No, here's the problem is that cities, they treat cities like corporations that they need to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But a city doesn't need to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It needs to maintain proper growth. Just like a tree, you have to prune it sometimes. You don't prune it too much, and you don't prune it, if you never prune it, then it grows out of control, right? So the same thing is true with a good city. It has to be pruned and maintained properly. But bigger is not always better. But they always treat bigger like it's always better.
I'm sorry to
Politics-
interrupt you. I have to
It's
go
okay.
because my kids are doing whatever they want to do because
That's okay.
they know that I'm
Yeah.
busy with you.
All right, well,
Burning.
tell them I said hello. Give them a hug for me.
Yeah, sure, I will. Take care, my friend.
Okay. Bye-bye,
We'll
Belen.
see you around. Bye bye.
Ciao, Belen. Ciao.
All right. And
Very
yeah,
good. Very good.
it's pretty close to my time to go too. It's been almost 2 hours. I'm trying to pay attention more to how long I do these things for, because sometimes I'm here for far too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once you get started, time flies.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you-
yeah. And once I get started, is if I'm having a good conversation and if things are going well, then I don't want to stop. If it's a good vibe and things are going well, then I keep going. But I also feel like it's important to try to stay on a schedule more. You know,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do for this new year is I'm going to try to have a better schedule and stick to it more. So, but it was a shame that I didn't get a chance to meet with you, Tomas. It would have been even so much better. But meeting with Belen and Gunter was really, really amazing, and
it proved my theory true that is the kind of traveling that I love to do. That, you know, I don't care about seeing the Eiffel Tower. I just want to have coffee with you. You know, that's it. You know, I don't care about seeing the Colosseum. I just want to know where's your favorite place to go get pizza or whatever. You know.
Oh, yes, you already told me this. That's
Yeah.
good approach.
Yeah, and that's what I did mostly. You know, I went to the Prado Museum when I was in Madrid, and
Yeah,
I went
okay.
twice because it's so big and so much to see, and that was amazing. And I did some touristy stuff, a little bit, you know, but I don't like it when it's like, okay, today I'm going to go here, and then 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 here. That's too much. You can't enjoy any of it if you do it that way. Yeah.
I got you perfectly. We will talk about another time.
Sure. Yeah.
In case,
Yeah, that sounds
because
good.
I actually at the bottom I am like you, but actually when I travel, wow, I have. It's not I have a list. I just go. No, I make the I don't prepare the list. At all. It's not all scheduled.
Yeah, yeah.
But once I am there, I like to see
As much
I
as you
like
can.
strongly to see the main places. But at the end of the day, yes, when you travel, you just stop by with someone, either you know already or you just meet them. That's the best experience. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. And food is really important, you know, to me. It doesn't have to be like the greatest food ever, but food is a shared experience. And food is best as a shared experience. So, you know, if I can have food someplace and share it with someone, you know, have a meal with someone, those are my favorite moments. Those are my favorite moments. Yeah. Anyway.
Around the table, we make history.
And actually, you know, that's where the word companion comes from. Companion. The word companion means, you know, like a friend, right? Well, com means together, and panion comes from the Latin word panis, meaning bread.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So a companion is somebody that you break bread with, that you have a meal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So anyway.
Surely.
All right.
Thank you, Mark.
My companion, Tomas. It was nice to talk to you again, and enjoy your lovely warm fire. And Belen, it was good to see you again too. Yes. Guys, I'm gonna take a break. But it was wonderful to be here, and I will be back again on Wednesday for sure. Okay.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. See you to everybody.
Take care, Tomas. Bye-bye, my friend. Okay. So I'm sorry if I didn't get time to talk to you today. And hello, Miguel. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, that's all right. But I'll be back on Wednesday. So, take care, guys. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, wherever you live in the world, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.